Hey guys, so I looked at my last vlog and I noticed how I was pretty chatty about random things, so I thought maybe I'd talk about something specific in this next vlog. So I want to talk about cars, Japanese cars and how different they are from back home. So all the cars are boxy, a lot of them anyway. One of the very common cars you see is like the Cube van. If you guys know what the Nissan Cube looks like, a lot of the cars look like that. They're not all Nissan Cubes, but it's like every car manufacturer has its model of a Cube van. It's tiny and small engine. Sometimes it's like just a super tiny 3-cylinder or 4-cylinder engine. And the funniest part is, even though they're little vans, a lot of them have like nice rims, some body kits, spoilers, exhausts, performance exhausts. And back in Canada, when you hear a performance exhaust, sure, half the time it's a Civic, but the other half it's because it's actually a nice ride. Here, it's like 3/4 of the time you're looking at a van. I really appreciate the Japanese sports cars that they have here. You do see some of them in Canada, but some you don't see at all, like my favorite car, the Nissan Skyline, and the R34, which is a specific model of that car. And I mentioned it in a note on Facebook, but I saw my first drifter in Japan. So basically, a quick explanation of drifting is when you, instead of taking a turn normally, you try to turn by gassing it all the time and making the car kind of, fishtail, but controlled fishtailing, and usually at a higher speed. The higher the speed, right, the more impressive it is. So that's the idea: going sideways at high speeds, taking a corner without overdoing the fishtail and spinning out. That's the basic, it's the basics of drifting, and it's very popular in Japan. It originated in Japan, and it's still very popular thing. And so I was walking home from work and I hear some nice car, a nice muffler. So like I said in the note, sometimes it's a van, most times it's a van, small little car or not, but this one was my dream car. And then I see it come around, like, oh, that's a nice ride, it's a nice looking one. And then he starts to go sideways and just gasses it. It's super awesome. It's just like, wow. And I hear them, I'm not sure if it's always him, but when I'm in my apartment and my patio door is open, I hear the guys just take that corner. That must be a really easy corner to drift. I guess it's actually, when you think about it and you look at it, it's got a nice angle to it, and it's not very busy traffic wise, so it's safe. You could do it without worrying about hitting someone in the other lane. So the cars in general, they all look like they've been souped up, which is kind of funny. Like any car, station wagons. There's one station wagon I see a lot. I don't remember the brand, the car manufacturer, sorry, but a lot of them I see around they're the same look. Like they're all black, tinted windows, lowered to about an inch off the ground, giant, chrome rims, and performance exhaust. I don't know. It's just weird. Like, it's just stuff you don't see back home. And even then, like, you see a lot of Beamers, Mercedes. I saw like a souped up Corvette, and American cars, the driver is on the left side, right? So I guess they even have that kind of import here, which obviously is considered an import, but no, it wouldn't be for us back home. And some really nice cars, like I've seen Lamborghinis, I've seen Ferraris, and Ogaki, where I live, is not necessarily a city known for very rich communities. At least I don't think so. So to see those cars is pretty impressive. And then you got the Bosozoku, which is Bosozoku is a biker gang, and sometimes they have ridiculous looking choppers. Sometimes they have just their own little cheap motorcycle that you could afford when you're in high school. And some of them sound like they purposely like to be noisy, which is one thing that the general perception of them it makes the perception of their group negative, because they just try to be loud. And I'm not sure if anyone's seen the South Park episode where they make fun of bikers just try to be louder all the time, so they mount horns on their bikes and blow the horns while they're revving the Harley engines and stuff. So I guess, you know, back home you got people who love Harleys, and they gang up on the roads and just ride together. Here it's the same thing, but they're called Bosozoku, and they're usually a cross between just regular, you know, I guess a motorcycle that's in between a speed bike and a Harley kind of bike or a chopper kind of bike. And then I saw this one kid, and they always wear flashy clothes, like really funky looking leather jackets with weird sort of zippers here and there, and their helmets have fur sticking out, and their jackets have the fur collars and stuff. It's an interesting fashion in Japan, and maybe I can divert into that. One thing that's something I never saw in Canada was what the mothers wear, and what the mothers wear. They wear these shoes that are they're like a cross between a track shoe and a heel, because it's open near the, like, it's not open toed, but you know, a track shoe, the whole top of your foot's covered. Well, for them, you have, you know, half an oval shape almost to where the toes would start, that's uncovered, but it still looks like a track shoe. And even on top of that, they wear socks. So we've seen the transition from tube socks or knee socks to tube socks to ankle socks, and then even socks with like little toes, right, toe holes. But now they have socks where they're basically they're even lower, like the band is lower than an ankle sock. The band goes around, it starts like where the shoe would, just a bit closer to the middle of the foot. So this is the top of the foot. The shoe goes here, or, well, no, if those are your toes, then the shoe goes here and the sock goes here. So it's still most of the foot that's exposed, and the socks have like little bows on them, and sometimes the sock that goes like this has a little band here with a little bow. Just a weird kind of fashion you'd never see. And in Japan, it's all about legs. So your short shorts, like up the yin yang, like you just, you know, so high up there, and short skirts, and you know, it's a different fashion, and it's cool. It's nice to see that kind of variety that you wouldn't see back home. At least the short shorts you could see pretty often, but here it's like they wear short shorts in the winter with like they're like wool socks, but they're for your leg. And so it's not a pair of pants, it's individual for the legs, and it starts at the ankle and it ends midway across your thigh, where the short shorts have a bit of a gap and you got a bit of a leg exposure, then you got the shorts starting. So kind of cool to see that kind of fashion. You know, it's not to say that they don't have people just wearing jeans and t-shirts, but even then, like, their jeans look different. Just the style that they have to them, you know, the plain jeans are very rare. Those that wear plain jeans are gaijins. You know, gaijins are foreigners, people like me and the teachers at school that are from outside the country. They wear just plain blue shirt, jeans, and nothing more. And then the other thing I wanted to mention that's kind of unique about what I've seen here compared to Canada is like water fountains and stuff. Like, I don't know, I guess when I went around jogging in Orleans, and even downtown Ottawa, I would never know of a place where I could just stop and have a drink of water, like a water fountain. So you'd always have to carry a bottle around if you went jogging, and that sucked. So you just had these little teeny bottles in a waist on your belt, and it was kind of weird. I mean, I never did that, but I saw that when I saw people jogging, because I thought sometimes if I go jogging, if I get thirsty, what would I do? But in Japan, they have water fountains everywhere. There's just a little spot with a water fountain, a park with one slide and one horizontal bar and a couple benches, a little shrine, and then a water fountain. So it was great. So you go jogging around, never have to worry about finding somewhere to stop for a drink, you know, as long as you, well, I mean, you can't just, actually, I have been jogging in random directions, and so far I've found water fountains almost everywhere, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, there's probably a lot of other things I could talk about that's definitely different here than it is back home, but I just want to talk about that, you know, the cars being all souped up, even though they're family cars, you know, like giant vans, I mean, think about like a van, not a minivan, you know, a big van, like a Honda Odyssey with like huge skirts and giant rims and a big top spoiler and a muffler. It's just the things people do to their cars here is just it's definitely another world. So yeah, that's about it. Just wanted to give you guys a bit quick update on the randomness that is Japan, and there's for sure going to be more randomness to come. You've seen some pictures I've posted on Facebook already, and you've seen that kind of randomness. So that was it. Hopefully this was a bit more enjoyable than blabbing about my apartment and food prices and stuff. Alright, peace out.